You forgot your wallet again, but the real reason may surprise you more than the mistake. You leave home feeling completely prepared until your hand reaches an empty pocket. Your phone is with you, and your keys are there, but somehow your wallet stayed behind. Maybe it is sitting on the counter exactly where you looked only a few minutes earlier. You turn around frustrated and wonder how anyone could forget something used every day. It feels like carelessness, especially when this same embarrassing mistake keeps happening. But psychology suggests everyday forgetting can reveal how attention actually operates. Your brain does not give equal attention to every object, action, or thought around you. In fact, the things most familiar to you can sometimes become surprisingly easy to miss. And the reason your wallet disappears from your mind begins with one strange brain habit. The strange truth is that your wallet may become easier to forget because you use it every single day. When an action repeats often enough, your brain slowly stops treating it like something needing attention. You do not consciously think about grabbing your wallet because the movement has become almost automatic. Psychologists call this automaticity when repeated actions begin happening with little conscious effort. It is the same reason you can lock your door and seconds later wonder whether you actually locked it. Your hands completed the familiar routine while your conscious attention was focused somewhere else entirely. Most mornings, this system works perfectly, and your wallet somehow reaches your pocket without much thought. But change one tiny detail in that routine, and the invisible sequence can suddenly begin falling apart. Wear different pants, and the pocket where your wallet normally waits is no longer part of the same pattern. Leave through another door, and one environmental reminder your brain normally depends on suddenly disappears. You might remember an unusual package because it demands attention while forgetting the wallet beside it. That sounds backwards until you realize that familiar things rarely compete strongly for conscious attention. Your brain naturally saves energy by turning predictable behaviors into routines it does not need to monitor. So, forgetting your wallet does not always begin with bad memory, but with a routine working too automatically. And this becomes even stranger when your body is leaving home while your mind has already gone somewhere else. Sometimes, your wallet stays behind because your mind has already left the house several minutes before you. You are putting on your shoes while mentally preparing for the meeting waiting for you later that morning. Maybe you are replaying yesterday's conversation and thinking about what you should have said differently. Or perhaps you are solving a problem so deeply that everything around you becomes background information. Your hands continue following the morning routine while your attention quietly travels somewhere else. Psychologists know attention is limited even when someone is intelligent, focused, and highly capable. The more mental space one thought occupies, the less attention remains available for simple routine actions. That is why a man can remember a complicated work problem, yet leave his wallet beside the front door. The contradiction feels ridiculous because we expect difficult things to be harder to remember than simple ones. But memory depends heavily on what receives attention at the exact moment an action needs to be remembered. A wallet sitting 3 feet away can become almost invisible when your thoughts are already 3 hours ahead. This does not mean distracted men are secretly smarter, or that forgetting is proof of higher intelligence. It means even capable minds can miss obvious details when their attention is consumed by something else. And sometimes, your brain actually knows something is missing long before you consciously know what it is. That strange feeling of forgetting something reveals another memory system working quietly behind the scenes. You walk away from home feeling strangely incomplete, even though you cannot explain what is actually missing. You check your phone, then your keys, and keep walking because everything important seems to be right there. Then, several minutes later, the answer suddenly appears in your mind with perfect clarity: your wallet. Psychologists connect moments like this to prospective memory, which helps us remember future intentions. It is the system your brain uses when you need to remember an action at the right moment instead of a fact. You knew your wallet was on the table, and you knew perfectly well that you needed to bring it with you. The failure happened because your brain did not deliver that reminder when your hand needed to grab it. That difference explains why forgetting something important can feel so confusing and frustrating afterward. The information was never completely gone because your mind eventually recovered it without anyone helping. Your brain simply failed to connect the intention with the exact moment when the action had to happen. The same thing happens when you enter a room and suddenly forget what you originally went there to get. Or when you remember an important task only after the moment when you were supposed to complete it has passed. These failures become more likely when the cues that normally trigger your memory are changed or interrupted. That is why forgetting your wallet may happen far more often on unusual mornings than completely normal ones. And one tiny change in your environment can quietly destroy a routine that worked perfectly for years. The mornings you forget your wallet may reveal something important because the mistake is rarely truly random. Look closely, and you may notice it happens when one small detail of your normal routine suddenly changes. You wear another jacket or different pants, and the pocket you automatically check is no longer the same. Someone asks you a question while you are leaving, and your familiar sequence gets interrupted halfway through. You carry an extra bag, and suddenly your hands are occupied with something your brain did not expect today. Maybe you placed your wallet somewhere unusual last night and removed the visual cue you normally depend on. Habits become powerful because the environment quietly reminds your brain what action should happen next. The same doorway table or pocket can become a hidden signal telling you to reach for your wallet automatically. When that familiar signal disappears, the behavior connected to it can sometimes disappear along with it. This is why you might remember everything perfectly at home, but forget simple things while traveling somewhere. Your memory has not suddenly become worse because the environment supporting your routine has simply changed. In a sense, you did not forget the importance of your wallet because you lost the cue that normally triggered it. That distinction matters because we often blame our memory for failures created by broken routines instead. The men who experience this most may not be careless at all because their attention simply works differently. And that difference reveals why some minds remember complex ideas while constantly losing ordinary objects. Some men can remember a complex idea from years ago, yet forget where their wallet was placed 10 minutes ago. That contradiction seems impossible until you understand that memory does not treat every detail equally. Some minds naturally become absorbed in ideas, problems, conversations, plans, and possibilities for the future. When attention moves deeply toward those things, ordinary physical details can quietly fade into the background. A man may remember exactly what someone told him last week while forgetting what he placed beside the door. This does not prove he is more intelligent because everyday forgetfulness is never a reliable intelligence test. But it does reveal something important about the relationship between attention and what memory actually stores. Your brain remembers information more reliably when attention marks that information as important in the moment. If placing your wallet down happens automatically, the memory of that action may never become especially strong. That is why trying harder to remember everything is often less effective than changing the system around you. Reliable men do not necessarily have perfect memories because many simply create routines they can depend on. They leave wallets, keys, and phones in the same place, so the environment carries part of the memory burden. This transforms forgetting from a personal failure into a problem that can often be solved with better cues. The smartest response may not be forcing your brain to remember, but understanding when memory needs some help. And once you understand that the forgotten wallet begins to reveal something much bigger about your attention. So the next time your hand reaches an empty pocket, do not immediately assume your memory is getting worse. Your forgotten wallet may begin with automatic routines, divided attention, or one missing environmental cue. The important question is not simply why you forgot, but where your attention was when you needed to remember. Because your brain cannot strongly remember a moment that your attention barely noticed in the first place. That is why capable men can solve difficult problems while forgetting something sitting beside the front door. The solution is often simple. Give your wallet one permanent place and let that location become your reminder. When you stop demanding perfect memory, you can start building routines that work with how your brain functions. Maybe forgetting your wallet is not proof that something is wrong, but a clue about where your attention goes. What is the worst moment you suddenly realized your wallet was still sitting somewhere back at home? Subscribe for more psychology videos revealing the hidden reasons behind the things men do without noticing.